old in the cart, and she had probably a 3 or 4-month-old puppy on the leash, and she said, "It's going to be a
Still walking around a little bit?
She said, "Not so." Yeah. She's highly exhausted between the two of them. They were both really cute. I did daycare for almost 2 years, but we had neighbors that started with tea. He would give her milk-bone dog biscuits to chew on because the teething biscuits were disintegrated. A lot of kids have choked on them, but not dog biscuits.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. With his mother.
Share with the dog.
You go to order the kids.
I was assuming it was the dry time.
We're doing Oktoberfest, it's just constant drinking beer, after we drink it.
Have you ever seen the little cans of Mighty Dog?
That's made
by
place and I just stop. There's a sidewalk there. I don't like the sidewalk.
They had pockets of and they all smelled good, and it was the Mighty Dog. When they told us, anybody can eat it.
Are you ready?
You get golfing today?
What?
You go golfing today?
No.
He did, that was it.
You couldn't find that white ball? No.
I'm pretty mind the balls that are playing.
They ask us questions.
Open meeting of the Platteville Planning and Zoning Commission. Tonight is May 21st, 2019. I would like to open the meeting with a moment of silence for all of those serving here and abroad. Protect our freedom. Thank you. We'd stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mary, can we have roll call, please?
Chairman Rich Smith,
Here.
Harold Leggett,
Here.
Michael Kaufer,
Here.
Steve Schaefer,
Here.
Troy Blum,
Here.
Adrian Sandoval,
Here.
Sandy Smith.
Here.
We had a chance to read the minutes for the previous meeting, January 15th. Do you have any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
Move to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are accepted. Audience participation. Now, this is for anything that is not on the agenda this evening. If anybody has something they'd like to bring before the commission, please step to the podium, state your name and address, and bring it to us. Not saying anything will happen tonight, but it will be referred on. All right, I will close that at 6:32. We have a public hearing this evening on a couple of issues. The first of which is concerning an application for conditional review use for property located in the Energy Park. And the intent of the application is for non-permanent explosive bank, bunker and a concrete barricade at the site. I'd like to open the public hearing, again, at 6:33. Does anybody have any, or is the applicant present to address?
I'm mainly here to answer any questions.
Okay?
I think this one is for
Oh,
compliance.
I thought the energy
Yeah,
part
this
is
is
all
for-
here.
And just to be clear, we have two CRUs.
All right,
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
ask Melissa to address why we need to continue this to the July meeting.
Okay.
Good evening. We posted the application properly, but the needed materials to complete the review were not submitted at the point as of tonight. And they're working diligently on it, but we don't have it. So what we're asking is that we continue this. And we must have given a date for, we need to continue it to a date certain.
July
July
16th.
16th, yeah.
Anybody have any questions or concerns with that? If not, then we will table it until July 16th. The next public hearing that we have this evening concerns the conditional use for the property located at the Energy Park, concerning a commercial 21,000 square foot commercial building with an adjacent 96,000 square foot gravel storage lot. And the applicant is here this evening. And would you care to address the commission?
Sure.
Mr. Chair, you open the public hearing?
Yeah, 6:33.
Oh, for the other one.
Good evening, Commission, Chairman. My name is Robert Malloy. My company is a consulting firm, Landscapes. So I'm working for Evergreen Industrial, who has put the application together, and they purchased the property, and their intent is to develop the property and lease it out to a company called Distribution Now, which is currently located in Fort Lupton. They've outgrown their facilities. They're going to move over here. They're a supplier for oil and gas, mainly piping supply. And so the development includes the warehouse and then a storage yard with pipe racks. Not permanent, but they'll be placed in an orderly fashion to be able to maneuver around and whatever the needs are for fire access and such. The access point will be on Energy Drive for the entrance for the employees and for the vehicles that will be delivering and receiving the pipe products, and they'll exit on the back end of the lot. There's two access points on the back end. So they'll be going through the property and out the back side. That's the intent. So the conditional use, I believe, what we're looking at is what's allowed is 50% of the site would be allowed for outdoor product storage, and we're looking at approximately 66.4%, so an increase. And that's the application we put in.
Was there any concerns from the staff on anything?
I'll defer to the staff report.
Okay.
Good evening again. This is a conditional review use, and the purpose of it is not the distribution and warehouse. That's actually a permitted use in our I-1 zone, which is what this property is zoned. So as the proper zoning, it's the amount of outdoor storage that they're wanting to do, which is actually typical of what we see out there. We see quite a number of businesses that are structured similarly to this application. So the property is also platted as part of Lot 2B of the Platteville Energy Park. So that is as it should be. But as part of a conditional review use, there are a number of criteria, there's 7 of them, that you have to consider. And I detailed that information in your staff report. I think a couple of them are particularly important to review. And the first is the compatibility, and that's the number 1
the one listed first. And again, this is an application for a building as well as a storage yard, which is very typical of what we see out there in the Energy Park right now. The building faces Energy Park Drive, and so the parking is up front, and then the storage is behind. It will be completely screened from view through a chain link fence, a 6-foot chain link fence with tan slats. So that's one of the ways that they're kind of mitigating any of the visual impact that we see. They're also providing a 40-foot concrete apron with a double paddle guard to help with debris that might come off of their site onto the adjacent road network. So that's another item that we look at in terms of mitigation of any impacts that they might have. Another one of the criteria is looking at any likelihood of nuisances, and I think the operations are very typical of what we see out there. So there isn't anything atypical or an unusual nuisance at that point. In terms of demands of the use on the town services, it'll be served by water and sewer that is available in the park, in Energy Park Drive. Additional water will need to be dedicated to the town in order to secure a tap. Pretty typical of what we see. The fire district did review the application and the building. They looked at the automated sprinkler system and for the fire suppression, which was required in this building, and they have no outstanding concerns. So in terms of public safety, we feel like that's been addressed by the building design. Any of the traffic that might be generated, the adjacent roadways are designed for the type of traffic that will be generated by this business. Adam Smith, our town engineer, he reviewed the traffic letter that they submitted as well as the utility plans and the drainage, and all of those items do conform with our standards. So he currently has no outstanding concerns with the application. So with that, staff finds that the proposed conditional review use is in compliance with the necessary regulations as outlined in the staff report. And based upon the attached resolution that you have, which does include one condition, which is just any minor modifications that might be needed to the site plan or the documentation, those could get made by us. With that, we're recommending this favorably to you, and I can answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions?
Is this gonna be a 24/7 operation, or is it?
No, the hours of operation, I believe, are from what we've got designated. I have them here. It's something like 7 in the morning till 6 at night, or 6 in the morning till 7 at night. But that's the hours of operation.
If I may add, part of the discussion on this side is there were going to be 2 entrances off Energy Park Drive because of the stacking distance with the drive that Anadarko had on their northern property boundary. That's why they ended up with 1 entrance coming in, then 2 entrances going out on division with the tracking devices, because the yard itself will be gravel. So like the other properties out there, the front parking where the employees are, the front of the building is all be pavement with appropriate landscaping. So the staff, we strive to have the appearance of a nice looking energy park with proper landscaping, nice facade buildings, and then the screening on that. I think there was 12 to 15 employees on a regular basis, is my understanding. So it's not a huge impact, but there'll be more employees out there.
Yeah, I think total of 20. So they have sales offices, they have distribution and receiving in the warehouse. So yeah, up to 20 employees.
We don't expect the truck traffic to be any different than really what it is now then.
You probably won't notice it because of Anadarko.
Well, yeah.
But you'll have a few more larger rigs each week, more likely. I don't recall how many times the rigs come in and out. Is it basically pipe demand on the field?
Yeah, it's by demand, but I don't know the numbers there. Like I said, currently they're in Fort Lupton on Highway 85 here.
Yeah, they're on the frontage road, you see them right when you come in.
Yeah, it's just a lot smaller facility. And the reason behind this in part is, you know, the building and the parking fills a certain amount of area. There's still a certain amount of area left over that they want to utilize for storage. What it does is opens it up so it's not so tight on maneuvering around and such. They're not looking to increase their, basically increase the amount of material they can have out there. It just opens up the area of storage so they can get around, unload, and load. They're bringing semis in and out, so that's the only thing.
Is it still the intent to break ground this summer sometime?
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, right away.
Right away.
Yeah.
It does snow.
No more snow after tonight. Do we have anything else, Melissa?
No, that's all I have.
Okay, that's all staff has at this time.
Commission have any? Well, it's now 6:44. We'll close. What's that?
Any public want to address any of this?
We'll close the public hearing then, 6:44. All in favor? Oh, on the resolution. How about a motion on the resolution? On the conditional reviews.
Make a motion to recommend resolution PC 201902 for approval of conditional review to construct and operate a distribution and warehouse facility with outdoor storage at 540 Energy Park Drive.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution has been, will be referred to the board. Mr. Rankin, do you have reports?
I did include a written report to the planning commission as well as the board for tonight's meetings. I continue working with Melissa on some other projects. At this point, the energy park is full as far as all the properties are currently owned or being leased. And I know there's one more lot to be built out. That's in the process as well, north of this site. And then just to touch base on the July 16th hearing, we'll address that with Reliance Energy Services on their commission reviews this time. But that time, as of right now, there's nothing else pending to our knowledge, but something may change tomorrow. We'll see.
Well, to get it straight, with Energy Park, we have one commercial lot available. Wasn't there originally area out there for retail expansion?
South of 32.5 is
Yeah.
Track B, and that's the commercial component. And the town is actually in progress of purchasing that property for the purpose of expanding our retention stormwater capability. To expand the detention pond up there on that side, and we need more area for stormwater to flow off of Main Street and Reynolds. We're currently redesigning Reynolds. And then there's 2, if not 3, commercial retail lots that could be platted along Main Street for retail in the next few years.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what it was, but I thought there was retail space out there.
There's approximately 1 to 1.5 acre sites over there. Once we plat that, once we gain ownership of the property.
Yeah.
And that should happen in the next week or so.
That's good. Thank you. Does the commission have anything they want to bring to the floor?
Nope.
Well, then, we will stand adjourned at 6:47.
Thank you, everybody.
Rob.